A mild, unseasonable rain could not cloud the glory of the moments preceding the Washington Redskins showdown with the ruling world champion Dallas Cowboys. Not since 1945 had Washington hosted a championship game, and not since 1942 had Washington, D.C. been the home of a champion. But one note of pathos intruded upon this ecstasy. That Sonny Jurgensen, Washington's great quarterback, was to be denied these moments was regrettable. But Billy Kilmer had long since proved himself a capable starting quarterback, and the loss of Jurgie was more a sentimental pain than a practical problem. For Kilmer had led the Redskins this far, and nobody wanted him to stop now. For the Cowboys, after a spectacular playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers, Roger Staubach had been named the starting quarterback. And though it was certain Roger would be rusty after a season-long injury, it was clear to the Cowboys head coach Tom Landry that to turn back the challenge of the sky-high Redskins, his team would need a lift, something special to believe in. And in Dallas, it is almost un-American not to believe in Roger Staubach. So for both teams, it was 3,000 miles, but only one more airplane ride to the Super Bowl. But for the Redskins, perhaps the light at the end of the tunnel was a little bit closer. They had, after all, beaten Dallas for the championship of the NFC Eastern Division, and they were riding high on a carpet of good feeling. And so it was that George Allen said that this game would go to whomever wanted it most, because he knew his Redskins were hungry. I'm Al Meltzer, and this is the NFL Game of the Week. Billy Kilmer began the game by singling out number 41, cornerback Charlie Waters, for special attention. With his first pass, Kilmer hit number 80, Roy Jefferson, on a slant, good for 15 yards and a first down. On the next play, Kilmer paired Waters with Charlie Taylor on the same pattern, and the Redskins moved into Dallas territory. Number 43, Larry Brown, then cut back into the gut of the Doomsday defense, and Washington had penetrated to the Cowboys' 33-yard line. But on the next play, Brown fumbled after receiving a Kilmer pass, and the drive stalled. Still, Washington had shown a fluid attack, hammering away at the flanks and up the middle of the Dallas defense with equal success. And when the Cowboys got the ball for their first possession, they could not even earn a first down. After an exchange of punts, Washington resumed control at their own 27-yard line. Larry Brown drove upfield for 8 yards. And 2 plays later, when Kilmer was forced from the pocket, he contributed 8 more yards in a drive that was to consume 9 minutes and 15 seconds. On the last play of the first quarter, Brown made a dandy catch of a badly thrown ball, and Washington once again penetrated Dallas territory. After 18 consecutive plays, the Dallas defense stiffened at their own 11-yard line. Although Charlie Haraway took a pretty good knock, so far it was the Redskins who were doing most of the hitting. Kurt Knight came on to kick an 18-yard field goal. For most of the season, he wore a woeful expression. At one stretch, he misfired on 6 in a row, and overall he missed 16 out of 30. But this 18-yarder was his 4th consecutive bullseye in the playoffs. And this early 3-0 lead loomed larger in the face of the Redskin defense. The over-the-hill gang stuck relentlessly to their defensive patterns and closed in on Roger Staubach. In fact, the Redskins were so dominating on defense that they did not allow Dallas to register a first down for the opening 24 minutes of the football game. On the next series, Kilmer tested Charlie Waters again, sending him against Charlie Taylor on a fly. With Waters drawn in to defend against the short slants, the play worked perfectly, and Taylor gathered in Kilmer's pass for a 51-yard gain. Two plays later, Billy Kilmer sent Taylor slanting again in front of number 41 Charlie Waters, and the Redskins had a 10-0 lead. A repeat of the play in slow motion shows that Kilmer had to deliver the ball over the outstretched arm of number 75 Jethro Pugh, but the pass and the pattern were perfectly timed. Since Charlie Taylor's injury in the Kansas City game last year, the Kilmer to Taylor combination has been sadly quiet. But in this, his finest hour in many an afternoon, slick Charlie Taylor showed that he has returned to his game-breaking bets. With most of the second quarter eaten away, the Redskins continued their implacable pursuit of Roger Staubach. But on this play, a personal foul called on number 72, Dyron Talbert, resulted in a 12-yard advance. And on the next play, Roger the Roamer escaped for the first time, and Dallas was suddenly threatening at the Redskin 39-yard line. But when Calvin Hill missed a wide-open Walt Garrison, the drive ended, and Dallas settled for 3 points from Tony Fritsch. And when Washington could not empty the clock, Dallas was once again in business. Staubach's first desperate heave bounced worthlessly off Lance Allworth's chest. But his next aerial found Ron Sellers at the Washington 16 with 7 seconds left. With 2 seconds remaining, Tony Fritsch's try for a 23-yard field goal flew wide left, and the half ended with the Redskins still in charge 10-3. But Dallas had challenged finally, and the football game was only half over and far from won or lost. Allen's Alley Cat defenders continued to claw and scratch in the second half, as on their first two series, Cowboy drives ended in frustration. On their first play from scrimmage, Jack Pardee blitzed Calvin Hill for a loss of 8. After a pass got back the loss, Staubach tried a pop to Mike Ditka, but the Redskin D denied him the 30-yard line and the first down. Dallas missed the first down by inches and had to punt. When they got the ball back, a similar sequence evolved. Two runs gained 9 yards, but this time Verlin Biggs, number 89, kept Garrison tantalizing inches away from the first down again. Unable to pick up short yardage when they needed it and totally frustrated, Dallas left their game plan and bombed. But the Skins, in particular Mike Bass, number 41, were ready for that too. In the third quarter, the Cowboys got no first downs and only 23 yards total offense. They desperately needed a break, and they nearly got it. Jerry Smith, number 87, saved the Redskins, but in fact, Dallas should have had the ball deep in Washington territory. On a repeat, we can see that Kilmer nearly recovered himself, but lost the ball when hit by D.D. Lewis. Cornell Green, number 34, had a good shot at the recovery, but in trying to run with it, Green's greediness cost Dallas the ball. Green wasn't the only culprit. Repeating the play from still another angle, notice the number 55, Leroy Jordan, followed up Green's miscue and had a two-handed hold on the ball but lost it. Dallas sorely needed this break, but they had lost it. Looking back on it, it may have been the play that cost them the game. When the Redskins regained the ball, Kilmer began exploiting the Cowboy left corner again. Charlie Waters had been injured, and now it was number 46, Mark Washington's unenviable outpost. 3 times Kilmer threw the ball short and right, twice on out patterns, and then one over the middle in front of Washington. Finally, on the second play of the fourth quarter, Kilmer decided he had his land and went long for Charlie Taylor. The 45-yard touchdown pass carried the Redskins to a 17-3 lead. Rag-armed Billy Kilmer, the good leader, but so-called poor passer, would go on to set a championship record for passing proficiency with a 14-for-18 day. Repeating the touchdown reveals that it was a perfect pass that got the score. Washington was indeed beaten, but he nearly recovered with a desperation dive, and Kilmer's perfect pass reached inches past his fingertips. With 14 minutes to go, a 2-touchdown comeback against the fired-up Redskin defense seemed impossible. It was not until the fourth quarter that Dallas got some semblance of a drive. It started ominously when Staubach, still facing great coverage by the Redskins secondary, was forced to scramble. But his gain was nullified by a penalty. Dallas got that back when Staubach fluttered a pass, but Mike Bass interfered with Billy Park. It was Dallas's first down of the second half. It had taken a penalty to get it. But the Dallas drive died when Hill made good yardage with a screen pass, but in breaking number 22 Rosie Taylor's tackle, he fumbled. Five Redskins converged on the ball, Ron McDowell recovering. The game now settled into a battle of field position, with the Redskins having a decided advantage. Washington was stopped cold after the recovery, but a Curt Knight field goal boosted their lead to 20-3. When Dallas got the ball, Staubach still could not find anyone open and was sacked, losing back to his own 10. With Dallas forced to punt from deep, Washington again took over in the Cowboy corral on the 45, but could not move. Curt Knight was called on again and hit from the 46. Now only 3 Dallas touchdowns in 6 minutes could cost Washington the conference title. The Redskins sensed victory to a man. George Allen's team is well coached in every aspect, and he pays particular attention to special teams. This attention pays off for the Redskins, who are rarely burned on returns. Each bomb squatter is aware of his importance, and the bomb in bomb squad usually explodes on the other team. Cliff Harris only reached the 13 before Bob Brunet shot him down, and his enthusiastic play carried to the defense, which chased Staubach out of RFK Stadium. Staubach got the loss back with a pretty slant into Parks. Dallas's second first down of the half, coming with just 3 minutes left in the game. Staubach then got 8, dumping a pass to Hill, the only receiver he could find. But Dallas never got the next 2 yards on the first down. On second down, Rod Sellers was convinced into dropping a pass. Repeating the play reveals a classic defensive back play by Ted Vactor. He arrives at Sellers at the same instant as the ball, making it rather difficult to catch. Third and fourth down passes failed too. Roger Staubach, who had led Dallas back from the dead 1 week ago, could take them no further. Jubilant Redskin fans began celebrating before the game ended. But there was still one more cheer in store for the Redskins. Kurt Knight, who had had a woeful year kicking, kicked his 7th straight 1972 postseason game field goal. His 4th in this game set an NFL record for championship game field goals. But you'd never know it by his reaction. The Cowboys would get the ball one more time. But their last possession of 1972 fizzled, as had all others on this day. George Allen's conquest of the Dallas Cowboys was total and absolute. The Redskin defense had yielded just 3 points, and now in 2 postseason games had yielded but 6. Today they had stopped the NFC's second-ranked offense, holding them to 8 first downs and 170 yards. And against the conference's 4th-best defense, they had cranked out over 300 yards. Washington had completely dominated, and the NFC Championship was theirs. For the Dallas Cowboys, their season is over, and with it, their one-year reign as world champions. For George Allen and his Redskins, the season continues. They have earned the right to play in the Super Bowl for a shot at their first NFL title in 30 years. Said Dallas head coach Tom Landry, they played the kind of football that we played down the stretch for the last 2 years. If the Redskins continue to play like the proud Cowboys of 1971, the 30 years of waiting for the World Championship to return to Washington will be over.